Welcome to Fright Night. For real.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week, it chooses the movie, and they discuss it. Today, we are talking about the 1985 film Fright Night, which was directed and written by Tom Holland, not the Spider-Man Tom Holland again. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Erik.
And Erik! Welcome to Fright Night.
I got a few things. This is your movie. Can we just say that to everyone listening? This is an Alec Lawless 80s treasure chest right here. Like this is your movie. I'm not gonna try to step on your toes. It's like, okay, Erik, you're a fan. Are you a fan? Like, no, this is you're a fan of this movie, and I am just a fair weather like this movie.
Dude, this movie, I love this movie. I don't even know why we waited so long to put it on the wheel, because this is like...
Why? We've had like a Christmas for Wheel and a couple other ones. Like, what the hell?
I don't know. This somehow stuck past. This is probably my favorite vampire movie, honestly, even more than The Lost Boys. It's
Mhm.
not the best vampire movie, but it is
Yeah.
so good for what it is, man. You liked it, right?
I'm going to say a couple things briefly right now. So, with the state of our country right now, all the divided chaos and COVID, this did help me kick back and relax and watch an 80s vampire movie. So, I got to say, I loved rewatching this. This was my second time watching it, only second time. And I
Oh,
remember the first time we watched this was at your dad's at Buckingham. And I remember you were like, Erik, this is the best movie ever, ever, period, ever. And we were like 17 at the time. And it was like probably like a Friday or Saturday night. And I kind of remember watching it with you and being like, dude, this is so long. Like, this is like, like, can we just like go out? It's like Friday night, dude. Like, come on. Like, why are we watching this shitty 80s movie?
what?
It really felt like that. And watching it again, I'm like, Erik, you stupid, poor, naive child. Like, you were not enjoying this the way you should have been. So it is arguably pretty long at an hour and 48 minutes. It does feel long at times too, but wow, it is, like you said, it's a great vampire movie.
It hits like everything. It's got like the teen
Everything.
comedy 80s element, but it also like gives a nod to old vampire movies while also like modernizing it for like the 80s and modern times. Oh, I just love this movie. There's
Well,
so
I'll
much.
stop you there, dude, because like you just said, it gives all the nods. I looked on IMDb and I saw that Christopher Lee was in this movie. I was like, where was Christopher Lee? And it said like Dracula. I was like, oh, he was on the TV while the kid was watching Fright Night.
Mm,
So it was
yeah.
like it's Fright Night is a nod to like Bela Lugosi playing Dracula, all these people, uh, and it was like, oh wow, that's neat. I didn't get that the first time watching it.
The whole character of Peter Vincent is based off of Vincent Price and Peter Kushner, who played
Right.
Grand Moff Tarkin. He's,
Yeah, yeah.
so that character was supposed to be just like Vincent Price.
Well,
And
didn't they want Vincent Price? But he wasn't on his way out because he did do Edward Scissorhands as his swan song in 1990. But he was a little old and couldn't do the physical stuff that Roddy McDowall could do.
yeah, apparently he saw it and he loved it. He was like, "This is so
Really?
good." And the other thing that I love too is Roddy McDowall. He read it and he was kind of like, "Okay, I'll try it." Like he was a British stage actor, and dude, just like Donald Pleasance, he became obsessed with these. And
Really?
he was in the second one, and he petitioned for the third one to get made. Like he really got into these after they
Well,
made it.
he probably realized like the young people coming up to him telling him like I love this movie, and he's like, oh, the younger generation loves me.
He's one of the original Planet of the Apes. Also, he's like one
Right,
of
right, yes, yep.
in Twilight Zone. He was a big actor in like the 50s and 60s, so it was so cool to have him in this. Even from the start, the first shot of the movie is just a
The moon.
long take though. If you notice that, not one
Yep.
cut, it just goes in, it starts building the suspense, and you hear the Fright Night in the background, the show, and then it creeps in on what every guy has been through, trying to hook up with your
Yeah, second
girlfriend.
base, brah. Second base.
Dude,
Yeah.
this movie I probably saw this movie when I was, like, 13. Like, I feel like it was on, like, AMC or something like that, and I was just immediately hooked. But I could relate to it. I could relate to Charlie and just, I don't know, like, trying to
I
get
could,
laid.
I was kind of reflecting on being a kid too, and like a teenager, in like my bedroom as a kid, and it's so well done, so well done.
Perfect 80s bedroom too. I love that.
Yeah, dude, it really is.
Dude, his bedroom, and then you've got, Tom Cruise's bedroom from Risky Business, and then Johnny Depp's bedroom in Nightmare on Elm Street, like, they all have that same kinda look to them. I love it. I love it.
I love that shot of him binge eating chips. Like if you watch him eat those chips, he is like
What, when he's,
eating there's one shot of like him like staying up late waiting for the vampire to come home or something.
yeah, and he's
And
just
then
looking.
he looks out the window and sees like the boobs,
Mhm.
which is the only reason this movie's R-rated. Can we call a spade a spade?
Is that the only boob shot in the movie?
Dude, it's literally like I timed it too because I'm that pathetic. I think it's 21 seconds of boob and that's it.
Wow, and that got well, you know, it is kind of gory, dude, like, especially let's talk about that werewolf scene, dude, when Evil Ed turns into a werewolf, that is great.
Oh, it's
That
so scary. Jaws is PG, dude.
Yep.
This would have been PG-13 if it wasn't for that 21 seconds of boobs. Get your stopwatch out. I timed it, guys. I timed it.
It
21
did
seconds of boobs made this movie R-rated.
it did well, though, I mean, its
It did
budget
very
was
well.
I mean, not, like, amazing, but it, like, quadrupled its budget,
What
so
was it? I have it written down. $9 million budget. No, they say $7 to $9 million budget. I don't know if that includes marketing. Made 25 million, so it made double more than their money, which is good
even though it's R-rated, like, that's still pretty successful,
for sure.
especially, you know, for being a horror comedy movie. I don't know. It was the 2nd highest grossing horror film of the year behind, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. But yeah, I don't know, man. I love the score and the soundtrack, both.
Yeah.
I love the score. I think it's just like I mean, obviously, it's very synthy, but, like, it's got a very menacing synthy tone that just builds, and I love that guitar that
Brad
comes in.
Fidel or Fidel, he does Terminator. You know the doom doom doom
Oh.
doom 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 doom. Doom. He's the
Oh.
same composer. Literally, if you look him up on IMDb or anything, it's literally Terminator, Fright Night, or his two like big movies. He's done a lot of other stuff, and I mean Terminator is quite the resume in itself, but this is like his number two, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, I love this I've loved the score since I was a kid. I just, you know, obviously, I have a soft spot for synth, but I really love that. All the score too, all of the music that's in that club, dude, I love that
Yeah,
music.
they bounce around that music.
Yeah, well,
Don't they have like 3 or 4 songs in that club?
there's a bunch. There's 2 that really stand out. There's that "Good Man in a Bad Time" by Ian Hunter, and the other one is, "Give It Up" by, Evelyn
No, there's another
Champagne.
one in there too. There's Armies of the Night too. The armies are coming, they're coming, coming.
Well, I wanted to ask you, I
Yeah,
have subtitles on whenever I watch movies, but if you pay attention, especially to Good Man in a Bad Time and Give It Up, the lyrics are kind of what's happening in the scene. Like, literally all of the lines in these songs are kind of about, like, giving up your fantasies to temptation and a butterfly trapped in a spider's web, and it's just all about kind of, like, giving up yourself and being
yeah.
overtaken by something, so I really looked into it, but
Yeah, he shows up to the armies of the night, and then he takes her away, and is like, "You gotta give her up or give it up, and then you can't hide from the beast inside, because 'cause I'm a
dude,
vampire."
I think the choices for those songs were very specific.
Can Okay, I'm gonna say a couple things. Fright Night fans are some of the most hardcore, diehard fans I can think of. I mean that, like, when you meet like, Alec, I think you're a fair weather Fright Night fan compared to some Fright Night fans out there. Like, there are Trekkies, you know, like, people that if you say you're a Star Trek fan, I don't expect you to just like, "Oh, yeah, I know who Spock is." Like, if you say, "I'm a Star Trek fan," you know everything. Fright Night fans are that way. They know every lyric of every song. They own all the soundtracks on, like, vinyl, CD, Blu-ray, everything. They're obsessed. They know every character, every line, everything that happens in that movie, where the props are located in the country, stuff like that. Also, there's a reunion recently around Halloween of the whole cast. Obviously, Roddy McDowall wasn't there because he passed away, but guess who? I guess they did like a script reading with the whole cast, and
Mm.
guess who they had read the part of Peter Vincent?
Ooh, Anthony Hopkins? I don't know.
Good guess, good guess. Mark Hamill.
Oh, really?
Really? Yeah, dude, really. He did, and it was like a script reading, and they all like told jokes and stories about it. I didn't watch it, but that's how hardcore the fan base is. And I think this movie's 36 years old now. It was 35 on Halloween, so it was like the 35th anniversary like reunion. Chris Sarandon was there, so there's a very, very strong fan base out there. And my
Yeah.
point is, the music is just so good too. Like, yeah,
Well,
Sorry.
this is definitely a cult movie, and I mean, I think I am not what you were explaining, like, I think you were explaining a Fright Night expert. I am a Fright Night fan, they're
You are a
different.
big fan, but no,
I'm
there are fans out there, dude. They're like, "Okay, you like Fright Night, dude. I get it."
I think this movie has, like, everything. It has an amazing poster, an amazing soundtrack, an amazing score, a fun modern adaptation, cheesy acting sometimes, but, like, overall, like, I think it all works. It's got this quirkiness to it that just
Yeah,
really it hits a nerve in some people. I think it just hit a nerve in me. Yeah, dude, I think that Chris Sarandon is so good in this. He's just,
yeah.
like, perfect. He's charming, but he's, like, scary. He's literally everything you expect a vampire to be, but, like, this is a modern version of that.
It was his idea to eat the fruit. Did you read up about that at all?
Yeah, so it's because he wanted to be like a fruit bat or whatever too.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, "There's different bats in the world," and he said, "I'm a fruit bat,
But
and I
I
eat fruit."
like how they also incorporated that into the plot because when the
Mhm.
first scene when Charlie goes outside and he takes
The
the apple
apple.
and throws it, it's like, okay, so that's a part of his character because he's always eating fruit like a fruit bat or whatever, but also that apple is pretty important to the scene because he just throws it there perfect. And I was just like, oh, and that, that would have been weird if it was like a tennis ball or something.
I
But it made,
initially thought he was gonna find that apple the next day and notice there's, like, fang teeth marks.
oh, that would have been a good idea.
That's just, like, me, like, saying, like, maybe that was the idea too, but
Yeah. What do you think of his friend, his like protector guy?
so what was he a vampire?
I don't know.
Daywalker?
I don't know. Billy Cole, his protector.
That was the jump the shark moment for me is when, like, the Nickelodeon slime came out of him. I was like, what's going on?" Didn't make sense to me, but that was the one moment I'm like, "What is going on?" But I liked his character. He seemed like an Igor to Frankenstein.
Yeah, no,
Igor, Igor.
I don't know what he is because he's not a vampire, but he's like the undead protector sort of thing. He's like smarmy though. It's not like you'd expect. He's not
Well,
like
Dracula had his guy that he possessed and didn't turn into a vampire too, so maybe that's, like, more of what he is.
right, but I just like his character, the way that he's like sarcastic and he's like, "Oh, there's a coffin in the basement. Ooh," like when the police come, like he's trying to be like, I don't know, it's not what you'd expect. You'd expect a more
Yeah.
like menacing guy, but I like it. I think it works.
I like whenever, like, he, like, gets away with, like, "Yeah, you can check out the basement," and he, like, looks at Charlie, and, like, Charlie could be like, "Did you see what face he just made at me? Did
Yeah,
anyone see that face?" Like, he just looked at me like he was gonna kill me. I'm
I know.
serious. Like, this guy is not like, he coulda just called it out, but instead he just, like, takes it. He's like, "Okay," like
I know. The only thing that and I don't wanna shit on this guy, but
No,
that
no, 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 no.
no, no,
I
no,
like him. He's a good
not him.
addition.
Not him. I'm talking about that scene where he brings the police. That's the only scene that I'm like, "Ugh." Like, that the guy that plays the cop is so bad, dude. He's such a bad actor that it, like, took me out of the scene a
Yeah,
little bit. And I
yeah.
also just don't believe that they would send a lieutenant to go investigate something like that. I feel
We
like
need a warrant, let's be real. It
eh,
seemed like quick, like, "I'm gonna go to the police," and then, like, he's, like, 1 police officer and him, you know?
it's the lieutenant too. He's like,
Yeah.
"Lieutenant, wait, lieutenant," and he goes in there's like, "If I ever see you down there again, I'm gonna, like, throw your ass in jail forever." It's like, "Okay,
Well,
what if"
it's like a good way to say, like, why doesn't he go back to the cops? It's because if he goes back to the cops, he's gonna get put in jail.
I know, the writing of that scene is just a little choppy, but
Yeah,
whatever, whatever,
they
whatever.
try to make excuses and, like, the mom, like, "I'm working the night shift." "Okay, that's why you're not here."
Uh, uh,
Like,
uh, that's what Nightmare on Elm Street did too.
for sure, and also my favorite line, and we can go into Evil. I'm bouncing around this whole movie a ton, but Evil, his best line is, "His dinner is in the oven," when he,
Oh my
like,
god.
takes out the note. That's the best line in the movie
Oh.
by far.
Mm, He's
Yep,
like,
yep.
"His dinner is in the oven." Like, it's
Yeah.
so over the top. The guy that auditioned for that apparently went in and auditioned for Weird Science by accident. His agent sent him in to audition for the Anthony Michael Hall role, and the casting director was the same one, I guess, maybe for Fright Night?
I thought he also auditioned for Charlie in this
He
movie.
did.
Okay.
And he was like they're like, "Hey, they want you to be in Fright Night," and he's like, "Yes!" It's like, as Evil Ed, and he was like, "What?"
Like the loser guy?
He's like, "I'm not like that at all." So, he said it was very awkward playing that character for him.
I thought
But
he was phenomenal. But I mean, I can see him being like, I feel like such a loser playing this role. But it reminds me of like the in Karate Kid, like the get him a body back, Johnny. Like everyone, every '80s movie needs that like one, like who is this guy? Like, you know?
yeah, no, he's a little cringy sometimes, but I love him. I think he's perfect for what it is. I'm curious though why Charlie goes to him. He's a huge Peter Vincent fan and vampire fan already, but he goes to Ed and he's like, "What should I do to the vampire?" And then Ed
You think he would know?
right. So I was like,
And he
"Okay."
pays him $8. which I mean, with inflation's like $20 probably.
Yeah, if you're in high school, hey,
It's like, would I pay you $20 to give me like shitty vampire tips?
that I should already know.
Yeah, because I watch Fright Night like every night with Peter Vincent.
Yeah, interesting. The mom too is very reminiscent of the Nightmare on Elm Street mom, where she's just like kinda
Well, she's
ditzy,
not
but
like a raging alcoholic.
no, but she's like on pills. She's like, "Do you want any Valium?"
Yeah, yo, she does say that. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, but
There's
she's
one
kinda
plot hole in this movie. I don't know if
what?
you noticed it. When Peter Vincent goes up to Chris Sarandon at the end and goes to like hold up the cross, and it's like you have to have faith to believe. And he's like, "Oh, about a half an hour ago, he not only burned the cross into Evil Ed, but he also told him to get back, and he jumped out the window." So it looked like he had faith, and maybe he lost his way with Jesus or something within that half an hour. I don't know, but that's the only thing I'm like, maybe it's like a head vampire thing. I don't know.
Well, I the only thing I can say is maybe he was doing that to make him question his faith in that moment.
Right, and he's a very new vampire, maybe
True.
he's very weak to the crucifix and stuff. Plot hole
Well,
city, but
no, I mean, when he's going to burn Jerry, like, when he's going to burn Chris Sarandon's character could be saying that to Peter, even though Peter does have faith, he could be saying, like, "Hey, like, you need to have faith for that to work," to make Peter in that moment question if he really does have faith or not.
good point. Good point. There you go.
Maybe
Boom.
he always already did have faith, but in that moment, if you're like, "Yeah, that won't work on me," then you'd be like, "Oh, fuck, this might not work," sort of thing, and then
So
just toss.
can I ask this too? You're gonna love this. I hope. What did you think of Evil Ed being alive at the end of the movie?
I don't necessarily know if that's him.
Oh, it's him. You hear him. You see his
I
eyes, and then you hear his voice, like, "Oh, you're in for it,
I know.
Brewster," or whatever. Yeah.
No, he says, "You're so cool, Brewster." He says that at the end too. I don't know because it doesn't make
Uh,
sense, and he's
you're
not in the
you're.
sequel.
It does make a lot of sense, Alec, and I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
So Peter Vincent stabs him with like what was it, like a dresser stick?
Oh, like a railing.
Yeah, like a stake through the heart, right?
Yeah.
So Peter Vincent also witnesses this poor kid just slowly dying, and he keeps going like and he doesn't get his last words out. What does Peter Vincent do right after that?
Doesn't he just go back to the house now because the phone's cut and he turns
He
around?
removes the stake, which if you're a vampire guy and he knows his vampire stuff, he knows about the mirror, he knows about everything. He removes the stake, meaning he just saved the kid's life. In order to kill a vampire and to keep them killed, you have to hit them with a stake to the heart, but also bury them with the stake or burn the coffin with them in it. If you remove the stake, Dracula comes back to life. So
Huh.
I think ultimately Peter Vincent was like, I can't let this kid die and saves him, which is why Evil Ed's alive at the end, which is such a good nod to vampire movies.
Okay, I didn't know that about vampires, so that's one thing that,
Yeah, if you remove the stake, like they come back.
Okay, well, this kinda leads into the next thing, which I wanted to talk about too then. So, Evil Ed is not in the sequel. There was a sequel to Fright Night. It was,
Mhm.
not that great, honestly. I mean, it's okay, but it's alright. He goes to college, and he's got a new girlfriend, and Peter Vincent's there, and blah, blah, blah. But and Jerry's sister is the vampire leader now, and she's coming after him. But
Right.
anyways, Evil Ed's not in it. There was a comic book series that had a spinoff from '88 to '90, and Evil Ed's in that or whatever, but last year, Tom Holland, the guy that wrote and directed this, and then also wrote and directed Child's Play, the first one, he is working on Fright Night 3, which is now it's just going to be called Fright Night Resurrection, and it's about Evil Ed's spirit being stuck in that house. And Charlie inherits the house and is a single father with two teenage daughters. And Ed comes back to
No
life.
way.
Now, wait. Ed comes back to life and is gonna resurrect Billy and Jerry from the house across the street or whatever. And
I would
that's
love
supposed
that.
to be a modern it's kinda gonna do what Halloween did, where they're just gonna forget the sequels and just move from the first one to this one.
I think there's enough fan base for that movie to happen and be good and successful.
I mean, if Tom Holland's coming back and he seems like he's like, "I'm gonna bring back everybody that wants to come back," so it seems
Everyone was at this reunion. Apparently, it was a success as well, and they got Mark Hamill
I love it.
to do the script reading. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I mean, Chris Sarandon though, he's getting up there. He's 78.
Yeah, I know they gotta get him they really gotta get
He-
this ball rolling, but it
Yeah,
apparently they're legitimately, like, if you go on the Wikipedia, you go on the IMDb, like, there's a couple
I would love that. I don't care how like bad or kind of shitty it is. That's one of the sequels I would want.
Oh, I'm
Not a
down.
remake. Like there was a remake in 2011 with
Yeah,
Colin Farrell and McLovin that I heard was okay.
I saw it.
Which
It's
I didn't, but I heard it was okay.
it's
Not as
yeah,
it's just like a trying to
it's
reap
just
the benefits.
it's unnecessary, and it has none of the quirkiness of this one. It's like a very modern horror movie. It's almost like what, Nightmare on Elm Street's remake was like. You're just
That was
like,
the worst remake I think I can think of.
yeah,
One
this
of them.
one's not that bad, but it's not Fright Night. It doesn't feel like that. I love Imogen Poots,
I mean,
but, like, the movie's
I
just
mean, this movie, dude, the thing that makes Fright Night is the cheesy 80ness. It's an 80s treasure chest.
yeah, and I think it just has realistic characters. I mean, I think the girlfriend plays a very realistic girl
Mhm.
next door who's like, "I'm a virgin, so I'm trying to, like, I've got a boyfriend that, like, I love, but, like, I don't know if I'm ready," and, like, it's just I don't know, there's a lot of development in characters in
Well,
this.
you see Amanda Burst grow from, like, this girl who doesn't even wanna go to second base to someone who's, like, fully sexual, and it's a very sexual movie, too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Very sexual.
dude, I mean, I was watching it that scene where Jerry, like, takes her back to the house and they, like, basically I mean, do they have sex?
I mean, vampire sex.
'Cause it looks like there's a scene where he, like
Whatever that is. I don't know.
there's, like, one part where he, like, goes it looks like he's like, "I've just entered you," and she's like, "Ah," and he's just, like, looks at
Yeah,
her.
well, yeah, that's, like, vampire sex.
So sex.
Yeah. No, no,
Uh,
dude, no, dude, no. Sex.
oh, got it,
It's
got it,
different,
got it.
it's different.
But so
Vampire sex.
penis and vagina. No,
No,
but
no, no,
he
not penis and vagina. Vampire sex.
gotcha, gotcha. No, but I don't know if you noticed this too, he bites her shoulder, he does not get her
Yeah.
neck.
I think
So
Amanda Burst, who is, like, one of the dream '80s women, and, she was 26 or 27 filming this. She was older, but also, Chris Sarandon was, like, 42 or 43, so there's, like, a 16, 17-year difference between the 2 characters, which is kinda cool, though.
yeah, yeah, no, I just think that it's just like her character's losing her virginity to this, like, ancient
Older guy.
vampire
Yeah, and
guy,
he's hundreds of years old, let's be real, but yeah.
he's just scary. I mean, she was scared to have sex with Charlie. I can't even imagine when it's like, "Hey, welcome to my, like, lair with my long fingernails." And then I love how her hair just, like, grows once she
Yeah,
becomes
well, she becomes, like, this, like they make her look, like, so dull at the beginning of the movie, and then at the end, she's, like, this, like, ooh, like,
I
super
know.
sexual 26-year-old.
Yeah, well, why does her hair grow, though?
'Cause she's a vampire, dude. She's a vampire.
Oh, right.
Vampires are sexual, like, they are.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, but yeah, honestly, there's very little for me to criticize in this, but, there's one other, little tidbit of trivia here for you. So,
Bring it on.
apparently, in the beginning of Ghostbusters, the library, when, the ghost turns into, like, that, like, almost, like, gorilla-looking demon thing that comes at them
The library ghost?
in the beginning of Ghostbusters?
Yeah. That was, like, all CGI, though.
No, that's a real puppet, but
Oh.
it was used in this movie too. It's at the end when, when Jerry's on fire, when he's like a full-blown bat demon thing. When he's on fire, that's the same puppet they used in Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's cool. There's a lot of '80s, bouncing around there.
Yeah, it was the same prop guy, I guess, and he was just like,
I really did appreciate the CGI, the animatronics, the makeup. They all looked great,
"Dude,
really, really impressive
I love
makeup.
all of it." A couple things though. When they bring Peter Vincent into the house with the holy water or whatever, why does Jerry Dandridge why does he, like, trust them at all to
Where he
drink that
said it was
water?
gonna be tap water.
Yeah, but, like, why would you trust him? You don't know that.
Well, he said it was gonna be tap water. Well, he's able to hold it.
Y what,
Remember,
through the
he has the bottle and he touches it, and if he dropped it immediately, it could have been something, but he's able to, like remember he tried to throw the bottle in the fire? If
This
it
is the
was
only
blessed, he probably wouldn't be able to hold it.
yeah, so I don't know about that because I thought the water would actually have to touch his skin, not just the glass or whatever, but you do see him holding it up to the fire for a second, and you're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
"Oh."
Yep,
So he's
yep.
like, "But what does that mean? Like, can you tell if it's blessed by doing that?"
I think, yeah, there's, like, satanic stuff going on with fire. I don't know. There's something there, but, Peter Vincent screwed up because he went in there like, "I'm just gonna try to get this kid to, like, get over his mental blocks that he has about thinking his neighbor's a vampire." Fills the thing with tap water, and he's like, "I assure you it was blessed by the priest on the 8th Avenue between the Burger King and the Wendy's." It's like, "O okay, you don't have to get that specific, but
Yeah.
yes."
Well, he
No,
says
but
this
he lied. He
father
filled it up with tap water.
we know that, the audience knows that, but Jerry just being like, "Well, I guess I'll trust these guys." But no, you're right, he does hold it up to the fire, so there's that. But yeah, that was one thing, but I do like how the mirror reveals it, and then I was like, "Oh, okay." And in my mind, I was thinking that they had a mirror in their house, and I was like, "That was so dumb." And then I remember when he opened it, I was like, "Oh, that's clever that he had a pocket mirror. Okay,
Yeah.
there we
Well, that
go."
was the prop he mentions before too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, wait, so with the gun at the end, he's like, "This is a prop from, like, Orgy of the Damned or whatever," and then he goes up the stairs. So, that prop gun is a real gun.
Yeah.
That's, like, how Brandon Lee died on The Crow.
Yeah, Brandon Lee died from a blank that misfired and went off. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a prop gun that's a real gun.
That's not a prop then.
I know. So I was like, oh, he's like, oh, it's a prop gun, and they literally murder a guy with it. I was like,
Well,
huh.
there you go. That's unfortunately what happened to Brandon Lee. Kind of, there was a real
I know.
gun, but with blank bullets.
Yeah, these are clearly not blanks.
Yeah, let's not do that. We're bouncing around like crazy, but back to the music. I had a fun idea. So I think you could take any sentence in the world under like 10 words and turn it into a Fright Night song. Give me a sentence, anything.
All right, bananas go bad.
Okay, let me try it. Bananas, bananas go bad. Yeah, bananas go bad. That's the whole. That's every song.
That's every song in this movie.
Every song, uh, my W-2 form is coming in the mail. My W-2, my W-2 form, my W-2 form is coming in the mail. Fright Night. And they always throw like the Fright Night in there at some point. You could take any sentence and turn it into an 80s Fright Night song.
Well, there's the theme song is sung by the Jay Giles band.
Fright
Like
Night.
yeah, it is. It is. I don't like that song as much. I like the songs in the movie, not the ones that are like extremely self-aware. But that's the thing. In the songs in that club, I don't think they were written for this movie. I think that like somebody listened to them and were like, this would be good. This is like actually exactly what we're doing in this movie.
It's so 80s, it's perfect. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying this should be preserved in like an 80s time capsule somewhere.
Yeah, it's just got such like a small town vibe too, but like all
It's a
the
girl
danger.
next door vibe. It's a great idea. It's like, hey, I'm in high school. I have a girlfriend who's like so innocent and perfect, and my next door neighbor's a vampire and takes her from me. That's
Yeah.
such a good idea. Like that's so girl next door, like gets stolen. It's awesome.
I want to know what's up with the painting though of Amy that's in the house. He's like, it's a woman I knew a
Yeah.
long time ago.
I mean, I guess like they looked a lot alike. So he was married or vampiring with this other woman probably hundreds of years ago, and she died
So
by
he's looking.
Van Helsing, maybe.
Oh. So maybe that's I was gonna ask like, what do you think for a sequel idea? But I think the idea they have is a really good one. But for a prequel idea, maybe it could be Jerry and Billy are looking for the woman like her that he lost so long ago. So he's trying to find
And
that.
they want to move into a house. It's like, why would you move next door to this kid? Like, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
if they can,
nosy little kid.
well, they're looking for that girl and they found a house in that town where that girl lives and is just like his ancient girlfriend. A couple last
Huh.
things though before we kind of wrap up. The ending when they kill Jerry, what's up with that basement? How many fucking windows are in that basement?
That was insane.
That's
That was
crazy.
insane. I mean, the jump shark scene for me was the butler guy like getting turned into Nickelodeon slime, but that was a close second.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think the makeup looks good.
They
Actually,
broke like 20 windows, dude.
yeah,
I would say like 10 to 20.
I'm fine with the windows breaking and killing them, but the windows there's gotta be like one big window, not like 7 or 8 windows. Like pick a
Well, yeah,
better.
it got a little redundant because they broke like 3, and he's like, "Ow, ow," and it's like they break a big one. It's like, "Ow," and he's like, "Okay, still," and then they like keep breaking them. I was like, "Why isn't Amy getting hurt?" And then they show him like covering her face at one point too. So I
Yeah,
was like,
that
oh, "Okay, she's safe from sun because you put your hands over her head."
yeah. Well, So yeah, the ending I was a little like, okay, but still totally loved it, totally fine with it. Cannot speak highly enough of this.
Well, I kind of I'm interested in that sequel.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I'm pissed I missed that reunion. I hope there's a way to rewatch it. I know it was like something you buy and watch and it was live and that's it, but I hope there's highlights somewhere on YouTube. I might tune in and see what they say.
I really hope they make the third one. Like I really do, because I love like Twin Peaks did this where they made the first 2 seasons back to back, and then they waited 25 years to do the third season, but it picks, like it continues. So I'm like, oh, I do like that. Tron did that too, and
Yep.
uh, I guess Indiana Jones is about to do it now too. But
That's insane.
love this movie. If you like vampire movies, freaking this is a great one to check out.
Yeah, and for all the hardcore fans listening, I hope we did this justice because I know Fright Night fans are some of the most hardcore fans out there.
Yes, I know. I got to get the poster. I really do.
It is
I
a
love.
cool poster. It is
That's
a
a
cool poster.
great poster, man. Love this movie. Can't speak highly enough. Tom Holland. I really like your movies. I love Child's Play, and I love this. I'm very hopeful for your third one. So, what do you say? Spin the wheel there, Eddie.
Let's spin the wheel. I'm gonna pull it up. Spinning. Hannibal. Hannibal.
Okay.
Jodie Foster, no. Julianne Moore, yes.
Well, I believe we have Dominic Berger as a guest for this one, too.
Yes.
Continuing
Can't
from
wait.
his Silence of the Lambs legacy.
That was a great discussion on Silence of the Lambs, so I can't wait to hear his sequel thoughts.
Man, this feels so long ago now. Well,
That
all right.
does.
Well, we'll see everybody on Monday with Hannibal.
Fright Night! Are you going to start this with the Fright Night music? You should. And end it. You should.
I'll
Please.
try.
For me.
Well,
For me.
All right. We'll see how it goes.